Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope that everything is going well at your houses. Just know that I miss you already, and I have a couple activities that I've sent for you. Remember, we talked about this a little bit in class about making sure that we're still using our brain. Our brain is like a muscle, and when we continue to practice things like reading, writing, and math, it's going to keep growing. So remember to do that from home, and just know that I'm thinking about you. I wanted to read you guys a story today because it is St. Patrick's Day, and this story is called Jack and the Leprechaun. And I know today for one of your writing assignments, you guys are going to be writing your own story about a leprechaun. So when we're reading this, I want you to think about the character and what kind of trouble that this character gets into. All right, here we go. Jack and the Leprechaun by Ivan Robertson, illustrated by Katie Breton. There will be music, dancing, and lots of food at the St. Patrick's Day party, said Sean, and there will be plenty of new things to see and do. Maybe, if we're really lucky, someone might even catch Liam the Leprechaun this year. Who is Liam the Leprechaun? Asked Jack. Every St. Patrick's Day, Liam the Leprechaun appears with a pot of gold in one hand and a stout oak club called a shillelagh in the other, said Sean. If someone catches him, he has to give them his pot of gold. But nobody has caught him yet, so keep an eye out, cousin. When they got to the house, Aunt Brid and Uncle Fergal were very happy to see Jack, and so were all his cousins. Seed meal filte, they cried. Ooh, I'm not sure what that means, but I'm trying my best. That's Gaelic for 100,000 welcomes, explained Aunt Brid. Gaelic is the oldest language in Ireland. Oh, said Jack. Thank you. We have a very important job for our very important guest, Aunt Brid said. We need you to fill this basket with shamrocks. The three-leaved shamrock plant is the symbol of St. Patrick himself, and we couldn't have the party without it. Jack went into the woods to look for shamrocks. He looked and he looked, but he didn't see any shamrocks at all. They must be around here somewhere, thought Jack. He went deeper and deeper into the woods. The woods got thicker. The woods got darker. Jack was about to give up when he looked at the ground and saw shamrocks everywhere. He would have his basket filled in no time. Tee-hee-hee, to-ho-ho. What was that? Asked Jack. He looked around, but he didn't see anything. Tee-hee-hee, to-ho-ho. There was that sound again. Jack turned and saw a little man with a red beard in a green suit and a green hat. And the little man had a wooden club in one hand and a pot of gold in the other. That must be Liam the Leprechaun, Jack thought. That pot of gold will be mine if I catch him. But with a tee-hee-hee and a to-ho-ho, Liam sprinted away. Hey! Jack yelled. Hold on! Jack ran after him as fast as he could. Jack chased Liam the Leprechaun out of the woods. He chased him across the fields, over the streams, and all the way back to the village. Jack jumped over a wall, and suddenly... Crash! He ran smack into someone. But it wasn't Liam the Leprechaun. Uncle Fergal, said Jack. Well, of course it's me, Uncle Fergal said. Where are you off to when there's a party waiting at home? I was trying to catch a leprechaun, Jack said. Leprechauns! Faith and begorra! Uncle Fergal laughed. Don't you have better things to do today than chase after imaginary creatures? Don't you even know what today is? It's St. Patrick's Day. March 17 is the day of the biggest celebration of Ireland, continued Uncle Fergal. Now enough of this foolishness. Come with me. But, Jack began. Uncle Fergal didn't even hear him. The whole town's getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, said Uncle Fergal. There's Mrs. Murphy baking the traditional soda bread. And that's Mr. O'Brien getting the children ready for the parade. Miss Fitzgerald is knitting a special green sweater. Green is the national color of Ireland, you know. But what about leprechauns? Asked Jack. What about pots of gold? Ah, you silly mouse, said Uncle Fergal. There are no such things as leprechauns. But then, out of the corner of his eye, Jack saw Liam. There he is! Jack yelled as he raced away. Tee-hee-hee-to-ho-ho, sang Liam the leprechaun. Then suddenly, Liam tripped and fell. Gotcha, said Jack as he grabbed Liam's arm. But the leprechaun just laughed. Why, Jack, don't you recognize your own cousin? Jack looked closer. It wasn't Liam at all. It was his cousin, Sean. Before he knew it, Jack was laughing too. Suddenly, Sean stopped laughing. We're late for the party, he said. And I still have to get the shamrocks, Jack said. Let's go. Off they ran, picking as many shamrocks as they could find along the way. When they got to the house, the party was just starting. There was music and dancing and lots of food. The mayor played the traditional St. Patrick's Day song, Danny Boy, on his harp, and everybody clapped. Just before the sun went down, there was a knock at the door. There on the front steps was a surprise. It was the next best thing to a pot of gold. It was a pot of cheese from Liam the Leprechaun. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, boys and girls, I just wanted to go back to this page because I figured it would help you when you're writing your story today. One thing that good writers do is they include dialogue in their story. And dialogue doesn't just have to be something that the character says. It can also be something that the character is thinking. Because we don't know what thoughts the character is having, so the author needs to be able to write those words. So here's a perfect example of where that's happening in this story. So first, to show dialogue, you use quotation marks, and you wrap them around whatever the character says or is thinking. So here, they must be around here somewhere, thought Jack. So right now he's not saying this out loud, but as he's wandering through, the author is able to tell us what he's thinking. On this page, we can see that the author gave a silly laugh to our leprechaun. I'm hoping that's something you might add in your story too. So here, the author wrote out the different sounds that the leprechaun was making. So again, we see those quotation marks, and then we see tee-hee-hee, to-ho-ho. But now we see a different quotation mark, and this is where the character is going to be talking out loud. Again, that's where the word dialogue comes from. What was that? Asked Jack. Thanks so much for reading this story, Jack and the Leprechaun, with me. I cannot wait to read your guys' stories that you come up with today. And I am going to go make my own story now. Have a good day. Bye.